Good morning. So we're going to be making pop art in the style of Romero Britto. And we're going to choose a word to write. And then we're going to design it and draw it similar to Romero Britto's famous love. So I'll show you an example of Romero Britto's work. Okay, so to start this, you want to pick a word that's positive. So for this, I might do love, since we're getting close to Valentine's Day. But you can do any positive word, and if you're stuck on thinking of a word, I found that like the character traits from our positivity project were a good example. Like that's where I got create was from creativity. So you can do a word that's an action like create. You could do a word that's an adjective like kind. Any kind of word that you that would be positive or inspiring to you. So if you don't know how to make a bubble letter, my suggestion, so if I do love, would be just to write the letters out first. And I'm going to kind of purposely make my letters like different heights and things like that. So once you write it out, I'm actually going to use Sharpie now. Then you can trace around it, and then you can just erase the, no wonder they had that eraser on there. You can just erase the letter that you drew. And we're going to put patterns on it, so it's okay if you can still see it. So I'm going to go around this. Okay, so there's my word love, and I'm just going to erase this. So as you saw in Romero Britto's work, he makes this line that goes through his letters. So here's mine, and it kind of like continuously flows. So that's going to be the next thing that I do once I erase. And I wanted to draw dark enough so you could see, but if you draw lightly, it's a lot easier to erase than what I'm doing. Okay, there we go. So again, I'm going to start with that line. And it's just kind of a nice wavy line that divides up the letters. So it was easy. This part all touched, but I had to skip a space there. So Romero Britto's letters are pretty thick, like have thick black lines. So I'm in a time lapse. I'm just going to go over my letters one more time to make sure the lines are really thick. Okay, so now my lines are nice and thick, and I'm ready to start with my pattern. So I'm just going to, Romero Britto's work is really nice, simple, bright colored patterns. So I'm just going to go ahead and start making, so I'll have some stripes, swirly lines. Polka dots. And you can like relate your pattern to what your word is. So one of my classes are doing this in person, and their word was eat. So that student chose to do like different foods or something. So you could always relate your patterns to what your word is a little bit if you wanted to. So when I'm thinking about patterns, I'm just trying to think about different lines and shapes. So try a zigzag line. There's really no right or wrong because the pattern is anything that repeats. So as long as you have something more than once, you're doing it right. Maybe I'll do triangles. Okay, so there's my pattern. I'm going to, in a time lapse, just color that in using permanent marker. But you could use colored pencil, crayon, you could paint if you're up to that. So whatever works for you. Okay, so my picture's all colored in. I actually, just so you know, I made a mistake. I was going to do each stripe a different color, but then I didn't do it like in the right order, so there was going to be 2 yellows next to each other, so I just colored the whole thing yellow. So just so you know, it's okay if you make a mistake and you can just turn it into something else and nobody would know. The other thing I was going to encourage is if you want to just add like a little shadow, if you have even a pencil or a gray marker or a gray crayon, you can use that to make a little shadow, and it just makes your letters look a little more three-dimensional. You know, like when they're sitting on something and they're making just a little shadow. Romero Britto has some of his work is 3D, so he's got some letters that are three-dimensional. So I think it looks nice with just a couple shadows under your letters. So that is our Romero Britto inspired positive word, and I'm looking forward to seeing your artwork. I hope you have a great day.